Respected ministers for education and friends, everybody is interested, I suppose, in education. All of us want education to grow quantitatively and qualitatively in India. The question is how exactly to do it. All I can do is to lay stress on my own desire, and I think the governments on the importance of the spread of education. We talk about 5-year plans and development schemes. I am quite convinced in my mind that our first plan should be for universal education. Everything else, whether it is industry, agriculture, or anything else which is important for us, will grow adequately only if there is the background of mass education and, of course, specialized education at higher stages. So, the problem is how to bring this about. Two things come in the way of achieving this goal: lack of trained teachers and lack of money. Both are formidable obstacles. The only way to remove the hurdle is to train and produce enough competent people to be able to do this job. As for finances, it is a very difficult question. I was much pained by the fact that owing to this emergency, education has suffered some setback in some states because they were trying to save or divert money to some other object. I think it is not a very happy outlook to think of education as less important than anything, including soldiering. Today, you want even a soldier to be educated. We do not want an illiterate person to be a soldier. But I am sure there are many ways of reducing the cost of education in so far as buildings are concerned. I do not want reduction in the cost of teachers' salaries and the rest. I think their emoluments should progressively go up if we are to get competent men and women. But I do think more especially in regard to construction work to save money. You can save money by adopting more modern methods. The traditional methods, in so far as I know, have a remarkable way of being costly and also looking horribly ugly. The average schools are not things of beauty and they cost much. I do not know from what period this practice has come down to us, but we still follow these old methods. Today, schools can be put up more rapidly and cheaply than ever before by prefabricated methods or even traditional methods applied in a wiser way. I came here this morning after visiting a large colony which is growing up near Delhi. It happens to consist of residential houses and government offices entirely constructed of prefabricated material from the Delhi housing factory. They are considerably cheaper and swifter to build than the other houses. I believe schools in Delhi are largely made of free fabricated material. So that is a matter which requires consideration because our housing programs have become bigger and bigger not only for schools but for everything. It is very difficult to keep pace with them unless you adopt some methods like these, like have prefabricated materials, production of which will both be cheaper and speedier. There can be such a thing as a school without a building, and it is far better to spend money on teachers' salaries than on bricks and mortar. You want some kind of shelter, certainly. I once saw some plans for a school which had provided only for a small central building. A small building is perhaps a big word for it. Actually, it is a small structure diagonally divided into four, each side having only a platform. This little structure was really meant to keep the books, charts, and equipment of the school. People could sit on the cement platform in front. They could add to the structure whenever they had the opportunity or the resources to build. The structure I referred to is not very good against monsoon rains, of course, but would certainly be all right for the sun. They are very temporary structures, similar to those they have in the south and artistic too and can be easily built. I really do not know how we can go ahead fast enough in primary education, especially in the rural areas, if we have to shoulder the burden of costly construction in a big way. I am sure there are many ways of facing this if you would be good enough to apply your minds to it and not think of education as inevitably connected with costly buildings. In Shantiniketan, as you perhaps know, most of the classes are held under the trees. Although they do have buildings, they prefer to hold them under the trees. They hold their convocation in a mango grove. Once or twice they reverted to a hall and everybody disliked it so much that we went back to the mango grove. I do not think much can be done if we could get out of certain grooves of thought. Apart from the artistic element in it, I think the effect of lovely surroundings is great on the mind of the student. The caste element is very important in our education plans. Professor Kabir said something about quality. It is obvious that mere quantity minus quality is no good at all. If there is no quality, it may lead to trouble. Then there is the question, apart from mass education, of the higher grades of education. There you come across the poor student not having any place even to sit and practically no home surroundings. How can you expect him to study hard without a place where he can do some work properly? I think we could have day hostels serving hundreds and hundreds of students who would come there, sit and study and have some rest. That will be a better way than trying to build regular hostel facilities for everyone, although the latter will be good. But I am merely suggesting this to get over the difficulties of providing accommodation quickly to large numbers of students, because the members are likely to grow and they are growing rapidly. I do not wish to dwell on this important matter which concerns all. Let your deliberations be more meaningful. I wish you success.